Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk boxing. Now, one of the most dangerous punches in boxing is the body punch. Now, it's one thing to say, oh, you need to go to the body. Just like it's one thing to say, keep on throwing more left hooks or let your hands go. It's another thing to be pinpoint accurate. Body punching, and why practicing body punching is so important, is because if you don't know what you're doing in body punching, you could damage your hands easily on your opponent's elbow. The elbow is a very, very hard joint. If a man is to hit you with his elbow, it's worse than if he was to hit you with his hands. Okay? Because it's basically the knuckles of the hand that actually do the damage in a punch. So always it's the joints that are actually the areas which are the hardest. Now, in body punching, it's very important that you are extremely accurate, because there are a number of different places on the body where you can strike, but you have to become a perfectionist, and you have to become skilled in hitting precisely those areas. Not only being precise, but also being extremely accurate. Precision leads to consistency, and accuracy leads to effectiveness. The body punches are not so much about how much force you can put into the punch, even though that's important as well, but it's what area on the body you're hitting, which would sap your opponent's energy, cause internal organ damage, and most importantly, takes away the offensive capabilities of your opponent. Body punching is what sets up later on a knockout, or sets up the incapability of your opponent to defend themselves, and so drop their guards, opening them up for headshots. Another thing that I must mention here is the use of the feint. The use of the feint is as powerful as the use of a punch. Most people say set up the jab, but by feinting to the body and then throwing with great leverage a body shot, you cause your opponent to tighten up at the wrong time and then to relax as you're applying the shot to them. It's important that the muscles in your opponent are tight enough to receive the shock of a punch and the trauma that may come. But when your opponent relaxes those muscle groups, that's when you should apply that punch. And it is extremely effective, whether you apply with tremendous leverage or even if you just tap them to that area when they don't expect it and haven't braced for it. There is a science and art to body punching. If you go too wide of the target, or you apply the angle of your hand to the target in a wrong way, two things can happen. One, you can permanently damage your opponent if you hit them to the back and you strike the kidney at the wrong point. Or two, you can cause permanent damage to your hands if your accuracy was not as it should be, and you practiced the punch in the wrong way so that you didn't go to the opening, but you actually hit your opponent's elbows. You have to look at the angle at which you're approaching so that you go behind your opponent's elbow, and at the same time go under and around and still apply that punch to the targeted group. It is not about slapping, it's about stabbing. Body punches are like using knives. You're stabbing your opponent and causing injury to his organs. So I'm hoping that this will help each and every one of you aspiring boxers. And for casual fans, it's not just throwing body punches, but it's about being pinpoint accurate as to where your punch is landing. When Keith Thurman dropped Chavez, and when he dropped Julio Diaz, he hit him with a body punch that was between his ribs and at an angle to his liver. What brought down both guys were cracked ribs. Body punches can be applied to the solar plexus, to the ribs, to the spleen, to the liver, and it can really do serious damage to internal organs. It's a strike. Don't think of a body punch as a slap. If you slap with your punches, you're going to be ineffective. If you strike with your punches, thinking of your hand as a blade, then it's as if you're stabbing your opponent multiple times in different areas. Well, that's my talk right now. I hope you guys have a great day.